you want to improve your accent, if you want to improve your listening comprehension, then these are the videos for you. They're very unique. You will not find other exercises like this on the internet. We are practicing with real life people who are trying to improve their listening comprehension and their accent through pronunciation, accentuation, and intonation. And if you want to do that, you can come along with us right now and you can watch these videos and practice with us. And if you would like to participate, just click on the link in the description to the Discord group. The first two people who volunteer once the video starts are the two people who get to practice with us on that day. And if you find these videos helpful, remember to press the like button and also subscribe. I need your help to grow my channel. It's a very unique channel. Well, now let's get started and let's improve our English accents and our listening comprehension. Can you read this next bubble here? What does it say?
Yes, yes. I knew we could come to some agreement.
Mhm.
Haha.
What are the what are the important words in that bubble?
The new
Oh,
an agreement and some.
what does come to mean? And is that a phrasal verb, do you think? I think that might be a phrasal verb.
Hmm, I don't know.
But that means like arrive. Arrive. Would that make sense if we said arrive at an agreement?
Yes, yes,
So, and wouldn't you think that perhaps that is a literal phrasal verb? Would you say that's pretty literal? Come to? Does it make sense that come to means arrive?
yes, yes.
Okay. Uh, so, which word do you think we should emphasize in that?
The agreement.
Well, usually if it's literal, if you've got a literal
Uh,
phrasal verb, you want to emphasize
sorry.
what?
Uh, if it is literal,
Mm,
we emphasize on to. If it is
okay.
a mistake, on come.
Come to some agreement.
Come to some agreement.
What's more important, some or agreement?
Some.
Yeah, I think it probably is. Come to some agreement.
Come to some agreement.
I knew we could come to some agreement.
I knew we could come to some agreement.
Okay. It sounds like you're being quiet. Are your kids sleeping?
Yes,
You
yes,
so you're trying to whisper? Okay. All right.
yes.
Okay. Uh, Mohammed, in the next in the next part, what does it say in the next bubble?
Nine of spades, not high enough, I'm afraid.
Okay. So remember, they're picking cards, and if he picks a really card, he can go home. He doesn't have to spend the rest of his life in Monsterland. Uh, do you know what spades are?
Yes, in this, like what to call it?
Mhm.
Can't remember. I see the shape. The shape.
Yeah, the black shape. Those
Yes,
are the spades.
yeah,
Okay, what are the
yeah.
important words in that phrase? Nine of spades, not high enough, I'm afraid.
Nine of spades, not high enough, I'm afraid.
Which words are important?
Uh, spades
Okay.
and high enough and afraid.
Okay, maybe nine also. Nine of spades.
Nine, okay.
Okay, and then in the next phrase, not high enough. What is the important word?
Uh, high enough and afraid.
Mhm. So both high and enough?
Yes.
Let's see, not high enough. I think I would pick, I think you could do either one, but probably you wouldn't want to do both.
So it's better make one.
Yeah, I think it's better just to pick one. Try high. If you read just high,
Okay.
how would that sound?
High enough.
Not high enough.
Not high enough.
So the emphasis is on, oh, you have a low number. Okay. What if you do it like this? Not high enough. What is the
Not
emphasis?
high enough.
Not high
Uh,
enough.
in enough. Yes.
What does that mean if you say it like that? Not high enough.
Like stop. Like you saying to someone enough of doing that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But enough means like sufficient. Okay, so if somebody is annoying you and you say enough, that means that's sufficient. You don't have to do it anymore, right?
Yes.
But here it's like the emphasis is the number is not sufficient. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So which one do you like to emphasize? That it's not sufficient or that the number is too low? Which one do you prefer?
Uh, Sufficient.
Okay. So how would you read that? If you want to emphasize the word enough, which means sufficient,
Not high enough.
not high enough.
Not high enough.
Nine of spades, not high enough.
Nine of spades. Not high enough.
I'm afraid.
I'm afraid.
Why does he say that? What does that mean? What does that phrase mean when he says I'm afraid?
Like I'm afraid you will not survive.
Hmm. It's something that you do when you're giving it's very common when you're giving someone bad news to use that phrase, I'm afraid. So, whenever someone starts their phrase with the signal, I'm afraid, that means they're going to give you bad news after that. It's a way of starting something with bad news.
Yes.
Okay. Well, these are very short. The other ones that we were doing last night were very long, but these cells are becoming much shorter. I guess this is like the climax of the story. Pachu, can you read the next bubble? What does it say?
There, that makes me high man. At last, I'm free.
Which card did he take? Which card did he draw? Do you know cards?
Yes, yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. AC,
Which card is that?
red heart.
Ace of Hearts. Ace of Hearts.
S of hearts.
Oh, be careful because you're saying a bad word. Because instead of saying great, you're saying gret. And you're saying es. That almost sounds like a bad word. It's ace. You have to put that E in there.
Ace,
Yeah, that's
ace.
very important because it sounds like you're saying something else.
Okay.
Okay, can you read that sentence again?
There, that makes me high man. At last,
Hmm.
I'm free.
Okay, now in that phrase, that makes me high man. What are the important words?
Is uh high, high, and uh, that maybe
It's funny because if you if somebody smokes hashish, then we say they're high, right? Did you know that, Pachu?
No.
No. So if you say that makes me high, man, that means that you've taken some drugs.
Oh,
If you emphasize that word high, so you have to say that makes me high, man.
okay.
Isn't that funny?
Uh, yes. Serious.
It's just a little difference, but it makes all the difference in the world. If you say that makes me high, man, that sounds like you're taking drugs.
Oh my God.
So you have to say that makes me high, man.
Okay, that makes me high man.
Okay. And then that final part, at last I'm free. What are the important words?
Uh, at last,
At last
and free,
I'm free. Can you say it?
free. At last, I'm free, free.
Think about the way that I would pronounce that word last. Last. How many sounds?
Three. Lay,
Last.
yeah,
Yeah. Last.
yeah.
Last.
How many
Three.
sounds are
You know,
there?
you're right. It's three.
Okay.
Yeah. Last.
Layest,
Last.
laced,
Last.
laced.
At last, I'm free.
At last, I'm free.
Okay. Mohammed, can you read the next bubble? What does it say?
Come, Mr. Nash, you're not playing fair with me. I think you're carrying other cards about you, perhaps in your clothes.
Okay. Close. Remember that word sounds like close the door.
Okay, clothes.
Close. So that first phrase, come, Mr. Nash. What does that word come mean here?
Uh, like, come on.
Yeah, kind of like, oh, come on. Come on. I discovered you. I know what you're doing. Okay. And then what is the next phrase? You're not playing fair with me. Can you read that again?
You're not playing fair with me.
What are the important words in that phrase?
Playing and fair and me.
Okay. So if those are the important words, how can you say it in a way that will make them sound important?
You're not playing fair with me.
Mhm. You're not playing fair with me.
You're not playing fair with me.
Okay. And let's look at the next sentence. I think you're carrying other cards about you. Can you read that again?
I think you're carrying other cards about you.
hmm What do you suppose are the important words in that phrase?
Think carrying other cards.
Okay. So can you say them like they're important when you read the phrase?
I think you're carrying other I think you're carrying other cards about you.
hmm I think you're carrying other cards about you.
I think you're carrying other cards about you.
Okay. And then what is the final phrase here?
Perhaps in your clothes.
And what are the important words in that phrase?
Perhaps and the clothes.
So if those are important words, how will you say them to make them sound important?
Perhaps in your clothes.
Perhaps in your clothes.
perhaps in your clothes.
Come, Mr. Nash, you're not playing fair with me. I think you're carrying other cards about you, perhaps in your clothes.
Come, Master Nash, you're not playing fair with me. I think you're carrying other cards about you, perhaps in your clothes.
All right. Let's see. So let's go back. Let's go to the next cell here. Pachu, can you see that cell? What does it say?
Okay. Then why don't you search me?
What are the important words in that question?
The why search and okay, search why and search.
Why in search? So how would you say
Yeah.
why plus don't plus you? How would that sound?
Why don't you?
Why don't you? Why don't you?
Why don't you?
Why
What?
don't you search me?
Why don't you search me?
Why don't you search me?
Why don't you search me?
Okay. That was so short. Well, Pachu, let's do the next one also, okay? Uh,
Okay.
can you read the next bubble? What does it say?
But you know, I could never carry that many cards about me. You produced those cards by magic.
Okay. So we have, but you know. Okay, so those first three words, but you know, which words are important?
No,
Okay. So how would you say that phrase if no is the only important word?
but you know, but you know,
But you know, but you know.
but you know,
hmm
but you know,
I could never carry that many cards. I could never carry that many cards. Which words are important in that phrase?
and never, and many,
Many.
and yes, never, many.
Okay, never and many. So say I could never, but make never the important word. And I could is not very important.
Yeah, I could, I, I could never
That's right.
carry.
It's a very small. It becomes a very small thing. I mean, if you said, "Oh, how do you pronounce the word could?" It's very long. Could. But not here. Not like this. It's I could never.
I could never
hmm
carry that many cards
Oh,
about
yeah,
me.
maybe we could emphasize carry also. I could never
Yeah,
carry that many cards. That I think that that here it's kind of like so much. It's
okay.
it's kind of like so. It's intensifying the word many. So actually, I think it's the
Yes,
word many that we have to emphasize.
yeah, yeah.
That many cards.
I could never carry that many cards.
No, don't emphasize many. If we didn't have the word that, it would be fine. I could never carry many cards. But the word that is functioning like intensifying many. It's making many a very big thing, like so many cards. So it's really
Okay,
the word that you have to emphasize.
so
Do you
I could
understand? I mean,
never.
does that make sense to you though? The way that the word that is working here.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Okay, that many cards.
That many cards.
But I could never carry that many cards.
I could never carry that that many cards.
That many cards. So many cards.
That that many cards.
Right. If I say so many cards, does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, pretty yes, pretty
It's very similar.
clear.
The word that is
Yes, same.
functioning in a very similar way. That many cards.
That many cards.
Mhm. And then they keep saying about me, which means on me, with me. But it's weird that they're saying about me, I think. So, but it means that many cards on me, that many cards with me.
Okay. So yeah, okay. With
That's not
me.
normal. That's not a normal way to talk. But I could
Okay.
never carry that many cards about me.
But I could never carry. Oh, sorry. But I could never carry that many cards about me.
Okay. And then read the final phrase.
You produced those cards by magic.
Hmm. What are the important words in that bubble?
As magic and those.
How about produced?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Where's the big sound in produced?
Deuce.
Hmm. Uh, so how would you say you produced those cards? Emphasizing produced. And did you say those?
Yes.
Okay. So how would you say that?
You produced those cards.
You produced those cards
You produced those cards
by magic.
by magic.
You produced those cards by magic.
You produced those cards by magic.
But I could never carry that many cards about me. You produced those cards by magic.
But but I could never carry that many cards about me. You produced those cards by magic.
Okay, and then what is the next bubble? What does it say?
Of course, Mr. Nas.
Okay, Nash. That's a whistle sound at the end. Nash.
Nas, Nas,
That's
Nas.
that same sound. Aya, Nash. Aya, Aya, Nash.
Yeah, yeah. Nas,
Mr. Nash.
Nas.
Of course, Mr. Nash.
Of course, Mr. Nice, nice.
All right, now we get to move on to our next page. And we'll go back to Muhammad. And let's see. Okay, Muhammad. Can you see the
Uh,
bubble here?
co- yes, come along, Danny. I want you to meet Mr. Sylvester, the
Okay.
owner of this house.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. Okay. What does that phrasal verb come along mean?
Come along, and
Mhm.
let's have the same opinion.
Come along means like come with
Yeah,
me.
agree with me.
It means like join me, come with me. It means come with me. If you say come along, Mohammed, where are you going? I'm going to the store. Can I come along? What am I asking you? Can I come along?
Yes.
That means can I join you?
To join you, yes.
Can I walk with you? Can I go with you? Can I come along?
Yes.
So when he says come along, Danny, what is he doing? What is he telling
Uh,
Danny?
to come with them.
To come with him. Hmm. That's right. Okay. What do you think about that phrasal verb? Is that a literal phrasal verb or is that an abstract phrasal verb?
A bilateral.
It is literal. It is. So how should it sound? If it's literal, how should you make it sound?
Come along.
Come along. Come along. Come along.
Come along.
Come along, Danny.
Come along, Danny.
Okay, now we have our next phrase, which is I want you to meet Mr. Sylvester. What do you think are the important words in that phrase?
Meet and want and is Mr. Sylvester.
Okay, I don't think that we have to do want. I think it would sound like this. I want you to meet. I want you to meet. See, I don't really think we would, in a normal conversation, I don't think you would emphasize the word want. I want you to meet. Can you
I
say
want to you. I want you to meet.
want you to.
I want you to meet.
I want you to meet Mr. Sylvester.
I want you to meet Mr. Sylvester.
Come along, Danny. I want you to meet Mr. Sylvester.
Come along, Danny. I want you to meet Mr. Sylvester.
What is the final phrase in this sentence?
The owner of this house.
And which words do you suppose are important in that phrase?
Owner and the house.
Okay. So how will that sound? If those are the important words, how should it sound?
The owner of this house.
The owner of this house.
The owner of this house.
The owner of this house. Okay, that was pretty short. So let's do the next one also. Okay. What does it say in the
Okay.
yellow box?
And so Danny is led away, a captive, a captive of the demon he had called up.
Okay, what does that mean that he's a captive?
Like captivating, like attracting you.
Well,
Like something makes a demon come to you
you're right that it's come from the same word as captivating. What does the word capture mean?
to catch something.
That's right. Okay. And so if something is captivating, it means it catches your attention.
Yes,
And if someone is a captive, what would be a synonym for captive?
yes, like catching.
Like a prisoner. Do you know that word prisoner?
Yes,
That's like the same thing. If you go to the zoo, you will see captive animals. What does that mean?
like being in the cage.
Yeah, they're captured. They're in a cage. They're in a prison. So
Yes,
so Danny is the captive of a demon. What does that mean?
like prisoned by the demon.
Yeah, so
Demon.
the demon is his boss now.
Yes,
Okay. Now we have the phrasal verb led away. What does that mean? To lead someone away.
like the root, like making the direction to him.
Okay, like taking him, guiding, maybe like guiding him, right?
Yes,
Is that
yes,
what you mean? Okay. And
yes.
so if Danny is led away, would you say that's a literal phrasal verb or an abstract phrasal verb? Led away.
Ledra.
It is literal. So which word would you emphasize, led or away?
Away. Led
Okay.
away.
Led away. Led away.
Le- Led away.
And so Danny is led away,
And Sudan is led away.
a captive of the demon.
A captive of the demon.
What are the important words in that phrase? A captive of the demon.
Captive and the demon.
And so
Demon.
a captive of the demon.
A captive of the demon.
He had called up.
He had called up.
That's a phrasal verb, call up. What do you suppose that means? To call someone up.
Like saying to come to me.
Can you repeat that, please?
Like saying to this one to someone, come to me,
Yeah, that's
bring
right.
him.
You're right. Let's try that again. And so Danny is led away, a captive of the demon he had called. And wait, is that a phrase? Is that a literal phrasal verb or an abstract phrasal verb?
Literal.
So which word will you emphasize?
Up.
Up. So a captive of the demon he had called up.
A captive of the demon he called up.
Okay. All right. Let's go on to our next part here, and we'll get Pachu. Let's see. 1 second here. Are you there, Pachu?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you read the next bubble? What does the next bubble say?
This is a sub-seller that very few people know about. Danny,
Hmm.
literally soundproof too.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Pachu, what does the word sub mean? When you see that word sub, what does it mean?
Below,
That's right. What is a seller?
seller is uh, I don't know. I guess it is a machine.
It's a what?
Machine.
A machine? No, no. Let me show you. I don't know if you have this in Nepal.
So,
Let me see. A cellar is like it's a room, but it's underground. So, for example, I don't know if you can tell, but these are very typical cellars. So these rooms are not above the ground; they're inside the ground. They're under the ground. You have to go down. Do you have those?
oh,
Is that normal in Nepal to have a cellar?
uh, mm, very low in capital city. Yes, there may be, but not everywhere. I think.
That was important before they had refrigerators because this is how they used to preserve food. They would keep it underground where it was cooler. You see how they have fruits and vegetables here?
Yes, yes.
So that used to be a very important thing. And they keep wine. They usually do that with wine also because it keeps the wine at a very comfortable temperature.
Wow, wow. Yeah, yeah. Very.
But the
Yeah,
thing, mhm.
but I think that is very good because uh, land are very limited, and if we do this, we can live there.
What was the first thing that you said? I heard, and if you do this, you can live there, but I didn't hear the first part.
Yeah, the lands are limited.
The land is
They
limited.
are not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But the thing about cellars is that they're very scary, especially for children, because they're dark and wet and cold, and and they smell weird. So
Oh,
so children are always very afraid of cellars because they're scary. So when you
yes,
see that
yes,
word, you think, "Oh no, they're in the cellar." That's where people get killed.
yes, yes.
So, can you read the? Let's see. Let's read the first line. This is a subseller. Can you read that?
This is a sub seller.
Oh, and what do you think is the important word, or what are the important sounds in that phrase?
Sub
Probably sub. So, and is B, is that a word that you eat or is that a word that you push out?
B B
B. Does that go in or out?
I out.
No, that would be P. That would be if you do a P. Sup. Supper. That's a P. The P you push out, but the B is just like the P, except you push it down into your throat. Sub.
Sub.
That
Yes.
finishes down here in your throat, not pushing out. Can you say that again? Sub.
Sub.
You're saying it
Sub.
correctly. Can you feel it going down your throat? Sub.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, you
clear.
eat it.
Yes,
You eat it.
sub
So, what does that mean about the U sound? How will that sound?
is sub of
It's longer. It becomes longer. Sub.
sub sub.
Sub. This is a sub seller.
This is a sub seller.
Hmm. And then what is the next line that very few people know about? Can you read that again?
That very that very few people know about.
What does that mean? If you say very few, what does that mean?
Yeah, is a negligible amount.
Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Very
Yes,
minimal. Okay.
minimal. Yeah.
So in that phrase that very few people know about, what are the important words?
So is a very very few.
Mm,
Very is okay,
very
and
few
no
and no.
and no.
Okay,
Yeah,
so very few and no. So
yeah.
can you say that phrase and then make sure that the unimportant words are small and that your big sounds are very big?
Okay. So that that very few people know about.
Okay, but so we said very and few and no, right? That
Okay.
very few people know about.
That very few people know about.
That very few people know about.
That very few people know about.
Okay. So this is a sub-seller, Danny. So if you grew up with sellers, you think, "Oh no, it's the seller. I'm going to be murdered." Okay. That very few
Yes.
people know about, Danny. Can
That
you
is soft seller.
Mhm.
That very few people know about, Danny.
Okay. Now we have utterly soundproof. What does that mean? Soundproof?
Yeah, means not penetrate of sound.
You can't hear anything.
Yeah.
What does utterly mean?
Yeah, utterly means here is extremely or
Completely, maybe.
mm, completely. Yeah, completely.
Okay, so the demon is saying utterly soundproof, meaning nobody can hear you scream.
Yes, yes.
Do you understand
Mhm.
what's happening?
Okay, yeah, I'm getting it here. And meaning is this.
Okay, and so which words are important in utterly soundproof?
And utterly is first,
Hmm.
and two is also,
Okay, and maybe,
and sound
yeah, I think sound also. I think you have to do that. So,
sound also. Yeah,
so utterly, where's all of the sound in that word? Utterly.
utterly ut, ut
It's the first syllable. Utterly,
yes, utter, utterly
utterly soundproof too.
utterly soundproof too.
So here's the seller. Here's the sub seller, Danny. Nobody knows about it. And it's utterly
This is a
soundproof too.
this is a soft seller that very few people know about, Danny. Utterly soundproof too.
Yeah. Okay. Uh-oh. What's going to happen to poor Danny in the cellar? Let's see. Okay. Muhammad can tell us what will happen. Wait, let me. Uh, you there, Muhammad?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, what is the next line? Can you read that bubble? What does it say?
Say hello to Danny, Mister.
Mr. S.
Mrs.
Mr. S.
Yeah. Mr. S. Yes.
what is your last name? Doesn't it start with an A, Mohammed? I can't remember what your last name is. Does it start with an A?
My last name,
Yeah, what is your family?
Abu.
What is it?
Yes, Abu.
Abu?
Abu Bakr.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe if I don't feel like doing that and I know you, I could call you Mr. A.
Yes.
It's just very informal, a very informal thing to do. So if we're really good friends, maybe I'll say, "Hey, Mr. A," right? Or
Yes.
I could call Pachu Mr. Y. Mr. Y.
Yes.
So this is Mr. Sylvester, right? So it's Mr. S. Is that pretty clear?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Can you read that bubble again?
Say hello to Danny, Mr. S.
What are the important words in that phrase?
Say hello and Danny.
Okay. So how would you say that? If those are your important words, how will you pronounce that phrase?
Say hello to Danny,
Mhm.
Mr. S.
Say hello to Danny, Mr. S.
Say hello to Danny, Mr. S.
Yeah, you have to exaggerate the emphasized syllables. Okay. Let's read the next bubble. What does it say?
Make an end, ten shed, and let me die, I beg you.
Okay, so he's saying, "End this, please, Tennis Shed. I beg you, please kill me." Poor Danny.
Yes.
Okay, make an end. That's weird. Okay, nobody would talk like that in real life. But what do you think we should? I guess you probably could understand what that means, right? Make an end, like kill me.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think are the important words in that phrase?
Make an end, ten shed. Make and end
Make and end.
and
Okay.
ten. Yes.
So say those three words, but make sure that I know that make and end are your important words. How would you do that?
Make an end.
Okay, but could you make the A and make longer and the and end longer so that it's very clear that those are important words?
Make an end.
Make an end, tennis shad.
Make an end, ten shed.
Okay, and then the next line is what? And let me.
And let me die.
Okay, and what are the important words in that phrase?
Let and die.
Okay, and let me die.
And let me die.
Make an end, tennis shad, and let me die.
Make an end, ten shed. And let me die.
Okay, and the final phrase, what is it?
I beg you.
Okay, and what are the important words in that phrase?
Beg and you.
Maybe just beg.
Okay.
I beg you.
I beg you.
If you made you important, it would sound like this. I beg you. I beg you. I know it's too exaggerated. It's probably just the word beg.
Okay.
I beg you.
I beg you.
Mhm. So make an
I
end.
beg you.
I beg you. Make an end, tennis shed, and let me die. I beg you.
Make an end, ten shed. And let me die. I beg you.
All right. Okay, now we'll go back to Mr. Y. Let's see. Just a second here. Let me get this focused. And let's see. Mr.
Okay.
Y, are you there?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Can you read the next bubble? What does it say?
Wow, what are those dark shadows moving on Mr. Sylvester's body? I can see very well.
Okay, what are those dark shadows? In that phrase, what are those dark shadows? What are the important words to you?
It's dark.
Okay, how about what?
Yes.
So what and dark?
And and s- okay, birdie is also
Also which? Oh, body. Oh, we're not doing body. We're just going from to shadows. We're stopping there.
okay.
So
Yes.
uh so just what and dark?
And those maybe.
Okay. All right. So if those are the important words, how will you read that?
So what are those dark shadows?
Okay, but let's make the vowel sounds in those words very long. What are those dark shadows?
What are those dark shadows?
What are those dark shadows? You hear how the vowel sounds in the big syllables become longer. What are those dark shadows?
What are those dark shadows?
Okay. And then let's say moving on Mr. Sylvester's body. Moving on Mr. Sylvester's body. What are the important words in that phrase?
So is moving
Hmm.
and yeah, maybe body we can take.
Okay. So moving in body.
Yes,
Moving on Mr. Sylvester's body.
moving on Mr. Sylvester's body.
Hmm. What are those dark shadows moving on Mr. Sylvester's body?
What are those dark shadows moving on Mr. Sylvester's body?
Okay. And then what is the final sentence here?
I can see very well.
Okay. And which words are important in that phrase? I can't see very well.
Is very and see. Yeah,
I can't see very well.
I can see very well.
I can't see very well. Can't.
I can see very well.
I can't. Let's see. I can. I can see. I can't see. Can't. I'm trying to think of what's the difference. I think that's for another night. But I can't see very well.
I can see very well.
Can't. I can see. I can't see.
Yeah, I dropping the T
But that's
so
more.
that
But it's the problem is I'm hearing you say can. So I'm trying to think what's the difference. Do you know what the difference is? Is that when you say can't, you have to cough. Okay. Do you know? Can
okay.
you say Pachu? Can you say oh, oh,
Uh oh.
uh
Uh oh.
oh? Right. What you say that when there's a problem, right? Oh.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
Can you feel
Uh
that in your
oh.
throat? That uh
Uh uh
can't
uh
can't. It's
oh.
the same. It's kind of the same thing. Can't.
Can can
But you're not. You got to cough a little bit when you do it. Can't.
can
Can't.
can
I can't.
can
I can't. It's really hard
can
for people to do that, non-native speakers. It's a really hard sound to make. Can't. It's a little.
can
It's like a
can
little cough in the back of your throat. I can't.
can a can a
Can't.
can.
But when you say can, I can. I can. There's no cough. It's just I can.
Yes, it is normal, but when we say a clear way, then it is difficult.
Yeah. I think for right now, I mean, you can keep practicing it, but I think it takes a long time to figure that out. So it's better if you say I can't. Pronounce the T so that it's clear.
Okay, okay.
I can't
I
see very well.
I can't see very well.
And that's fine. That's okay. I know you want to sound more natural. That's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
You can't see very well. You've got to cough.
Y-
Got to learn to cough.
Yes, yes, I have to practice many times so
Hmm.
that, yeah, because yeah, it is all about practice, but with the right guidance. But it takes a lot of time. No,
Yeah.
overnight we cannot be like a native speaker, and it is very fortunate that I am joined and I am learning a lot. And during my thir- 30, I am 20, I am 43. So
Hmm.
during this time, I have spent a lot of time without uh, with good teacher and reading self. So, and also my schooling is in not boarding, it is private, sorry, it is public. So uh, just what I have done is okay now, and I am very fortunate that you are helping me. So yeah,
Well, we've done a lot of practice so far together. Because we did,
so
I just did almost 50 of those pronunciation videos. So that's at least 50 hours, but it's probably much more than that so far. So that's a lot of practice. Okay, Pachu, can you read the next bubble? What does it say?
sorry Dan, sorry Danny, we must have more light.
What are the important words in that bubble?
So is a sorry, and more light is a
Hmm.
must. We must have
Must have more.
more. The more is okay, sorry is okay, but must
I think you could
it
do must.
maybe,
I think you could do must. We must have more light.
yes, okay. So we must have more
Sorry,
light.
Danny. We must have more light.
Sorry, Danny, we must have more light.
Okay. All right. And now we'll go back to Mr. A. Let me just let me bring this up here. Oh, this is we're at the end. This is the final one. We just have one more to go. Okay. Well, I'm glad we finished that. It seemed like it was taking a long time. All right, let's see. So let me just Mr. A, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. So the first this one we have no dialogue. We just see the black shadows of things moving around. There's a spider and maybe some rats, and that's it. Okay. And then what does it say? What is the first bubble?
Those dark forms, they were your pets.
Okay. The first phrase, those dark forms. Can you say that again?
Those dark forms.
Which words do you suppose are important in that phrase?
Dark forms.
Okay. Both dark and forms?
Yes.
Okay. So if those words are important, how should you pronounce them?
Those dark forms.
Okay. Where's the R is one of those sounds that you eat. R. So it really should be pronounced forms. Actually, listen to all of the sounds. Listen to all the vowel sounds. Forms. How many vowel sounds are in that word? Forms.
Two,
Three.
three.
Oh. 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 Forms.
Forms.
Forms. So if you say fewer vowel sounds, maybe people won't understand you. If you try to just say a pure O, forms, that would be hard to understand. Like a pure O.
Okay.
Oh, forms. Forms. That's hard to understand. But if you say forms, everybody will know what that is.
Okay.
So,
Those dark,
go ahead.
those dark forms.
Remember, dark is also important. So you have to make the vowel sound longer. Those dark forms.
Those dark forms.
Hmm. And then what is the next line?
They were your pets.
Okay, and what are the important words in that phrase?
Were and pets.
Okay. Now pets. That starts. Does that first sound? Does that push out of your mouth, or do you eat it?
Bush.
Push, push. So you have to push the air out of your mouth. Don't try to eat it. Pets.
Pets.
P p p pets.
Pets.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Pets.
Because if you eat it, it's a different word. Bets. That's like gambling. That's like cryptocurrency.
Yes.
So you have to say pets. You have to really push out the air from your lips. Pets.
Pets.
What are the important words in that phrase again?
Were and pets.
Listen, I'm going to say that word, okay? And I want you to think about how many vowel sounds you hear. Ooh, ooh, how many vowel sounds? Ooh,
Three.
three. Ooh, can you say it like that?
Were.
Say ooh.
Who.
Say ooh.
Who are.
Say ooh.
Who are.
Ooh.
Who were.
That was good. That was good. Ooh.
Were.
They were.
They were.
Those little sounds become very important because what if you go to the UK where they don't pronounce the R? Then the only reason that you know they're saying were is because of the vowel sounds. It would sound like wah.
Yes.
So you have to pay attention to all those different sounds. Were.
Were.
I forgot again. Which words did you say were important again?
Were and pets.
Okay. They were your pets.
They were your pets.
Okay. Let's read the next bubble. Can you read it? What does it say?
Of course, the poor little ones were hungry, and we disturbed them.
Okay. Now in that first phrase, of course, what is the important word?
Of course,
Okay. How many vowel sounds are in the beginning of that word?
of course, course. Two.
I think three. Coerce. Oh, course.
Of course,
Of course.
of course.
Do you hear the three vowel sounds? Oh.
Yes,
Of
of
course.
course, of course.
Hmm. Now we have the poor little ones. What are the important words in that phrase?
Poor and little and ones.
Okay, the poor. Do you know what does little ones mean?
Small ones.
That's true, but you know really the when you say little ones, that usually means babies.
Yes,
I don't did you know that?
yes.
Yeah, and I think that that's the demon talking probably. Yeah, you see the demon is because the rats and the spiders, those are his babies. So that's why he's calling them by that name, the poor little ones. So little ones, that's like a fixed phrase. Those are two words that you always see together When that happens, which word do you usually emphasize?
The three ones,
Which one?
all of them.
No, when you have two words that are always together like that, you usually will emphasize the first word and not the second word.
Okay.
That's pretty common. That's a pretty common thing. Okay. So you'd emphasize the word little, but not the words ones. And when,
Yeah.
go ahead.
The poor little ones.
Little. So it's the first syllable that you want to emphasize. The poor little ones.
The poor little ones.
The poor little ones were hungry.
The poor little ones were hungry.
Of course, the poor little ones were hungry.
Of course, the poor little ones were hungry.
And what is the final phrase in this bubble?
And we disturbed them.
And which words do you think we should emphasize?
Disturbed and them.
Probably not them. And actually, the word them will probably attach to disturbed, and it would be disturbed them. Disturbed them. It almost disappears.
Disturbed them.
Disturbed them. Usually pronouns are not things that you emphasize.
Okay. Disturb them.
Disturbed them.
Disturb them.
And we disturbed them.
And we disturbed them.
Of course, the poor little ones were hungry and we disturbed them.
Of course, the poor little ones were hungry, and we disturbed them.
Okay, and now we'll go. This is the final frame of the story. So we'll go to Mr. Y. Let's see.
Yes.
Mr. Y, are you there?
Yes.
That's
So
really just Pachu. I'm just teasing, calling him Mr. Y.
I like
Can you read the yellow box? What does it say?
and then Danny nice screams and screams, forgetting perhaps that the trailer is soundproof, just as Denisard said it was.
Okay. Now that word screams. First of all, do you think that is a sound that you eat that goes down into your throat? Can you feel that in your throat? Mm.
Yes,
So what does
yes,
that mean about the vowel sound in front of it?
yeah, is the long
Yes. So you can't say screams and screams because that would be hard for people to understand. What they want is screams and screams.
screams, screams.
Screams and screams. Uh-oh, Pachu, did you disappear? I think Pachu is in the cellar with Tennis Shad. Yeah, he's gone. What happened? Pachu? No, Pachu is gone. Okay, Mohammed, can you say screams and screams?
S- screams and screams.
Yeah, so that's extra long because of the M. And then Danny Nash screams and screams.
And then Danny Nash screams and screams.
Okay.
Is M is like I eat M like that?
Okay,
Yeah,
M is vibrating, yes.
yeah, it's a vibrating sound. Like, if you can cover your ears and make the sound, you feel your whole head will vibrate. Mm. So that means that it's one
Mm,
of these sounds that you have to make extra long. Pacho, are you back? I
yes.
thought I heard you.
yes,
Okay, you're
yes. The line is gone,
Okay, that's okay. Can you say screams
so
and
it
screams?
came.
Make the E very big. Yeah.
Screams
Mhm.
and screams.
Okay. And then how would you say the
Yeah.
next four words? For forgetting perhaps that the. Let's stop there. What are the important words in that phrase? Forgetting perhaps that the.
Uh, Forgetting and perhaps also
Okay. So where's all of the sound in that word forgetting?
um,
Which syllable has all of the sound? Forgetting.
getting.
Get. 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 Forgetting.
Get. Yeah.
Can you say it like that? Yeah,
Forgetting.
make the vowel sound very long. Forgetting.
Forgetting.
Forgetting. And then what about perhaps? Perhaps. Where's all the sound in that word?
Perhaps. Haps.
Haps. Haps. So it's forgetting perhaps.
Mm, Forgetting. Perhaps.
Okay, and the word that and the, those are not important. So we get forgetting perhaps that the.
Forgetting. Perhaps that the
Okay. And now the next two words. Seller is. Which word is important in that phrase?
the sailor.
Seller. Seller. Which syllable has all of the seller?
Sailor.
Which syllable has all of the sound? Seller.
Sell.
Sell. Okay.
Sell. Sell.
That the seller
Seller.
is. That the seller is. That the seller is.
The salaries.
That
That the
the seller is.
salaries. That the salaries.
That the seller is. Make
That the
sell.
salaries.
Make sell. That's your big sound. Sell. That the
That
seller
the
is. Sorry. Go ahead.
salaries.
Hmm. Forgetting perhaps that the
That
seller
the
is.
salaries. Or getting perhaps that the salaries.
Okay, and then we have the phrase soundproof. Those are words that you would probably say together. Sorry, I had to cough. Those two words go. You can hear me, right?
As
Those two words are two words that you would find together. So
yes,
which word will you emphasize?
the sound.
Sound. Okay. So soundproof. Soundproof. Can you say
The
it like that?
soundproof.
Hmm. Forgetting perhaps that the cellar is soundproof.
Sound for getting perhaps
Hmm.
that the salaries soundproof.
Hmm. And then what is the final phrase in that?
Mm, Just as Tenny sad and said it was.
And what do you think should be the special words in that phrase?
So, uh, so we can take just, just as,
Just
just,
okay.
just as,
Anything else?
uh, just Yeah, is a person who can tennisad. Just tennisad said. The
Maybe said.
tennisad maybe
Maybe said. So, just as Tenishad said it was.
just as tennisad said it was. Yes.
Just as
Okay.
Tenishad, what, as or just? Just as, just. It's got to be just. Just as Tenishad said it was.
Just as tennisad said it was.
And then Danny Nash screams and screams, forgetting, perhaps, that the cellar is soundproof, just as Tenishad said it was.
And then Danny Nasser screams and screams, forgetting perhaps that the sailor was soundproof, just as tennisad
Said it was. Uh-oh, did Pachu disappear again?
as Sir am
Oh, okay.
here,
Just as Tenishad said it was.
am here, just as tennisad said it was.
Okay, wow. So we finally finished this story. It took us 3 days, but we did it. We finished it. Okay, now I have 3 vocabulary words to practice. So we're going to practice deeply intonation, accentuation, and pronunciation as we uh, as we practice these 3 vocabulary words that we learned in the story. So don't go away because I'm just going to take a 1 minute break. I'll be right back, and then we're going to continue practicing, and then we're going to we're going to move on to our final exercise, which will be making a story. Okay, and so right now we've got Mohammed and Pachu, but 2 people can volunteer to take their place now. So if anybody wants to volunteer, then we'll have to say goodbye to Mr. Y and Mr. A. So think about that. We're still going to practice some vocabulary words or some expressions before we start the final exercise of the night. Okay, so I will be back in just a few minutes and we'll continue with Mr. Y and Mr. A, and then we will move on to our next exercise. we're back, and we've got some vocabulary words to practice here. We're going to be focusing on pronunciation, intonation, and accentuation as we do this. Let's see. Let me just check. So we've got Mohammed. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, and Pachu, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Probably you know this, but I guess it's worth practicing. And there wasn't very much interesting vocabulary at the end of this story, unfortunately. So we have not too many things to work with here. But we have this phrase, "I'm afraid," which is how you start. It's a nice way to introduce the fact that you're going to give some bad news. You've seen that before, haven't you, Pachu? It's pretty common.
Yes,
And you've seen that also, Mohammed?
Yes.
Okay. Mohammed, can you read
yes.
number one? What does it say?
I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, so the bad news is I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow. I can't go to the meeting tomorrow. And I'm afraid is just a nice way. I'm afraid is just a nice way of saying I'm sorry. Can't do it. I've got bad news for you. I can't do it. Oh, wait, let me see. I'm all confused here. Oh, my application is acting weird. Let me. Okay, there we go. That's better. All right, Pachu, can you read number one?
I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
Okay, now if we just look at the words, I'm afraid I can't. I can't make it. Let's stop
Okay.
there. I'm afraid I can't make it. Which words, Pachu, would you say are important in that phrase?
Afraid and make
Okay, afraid. Afraid. Where's all the sound in that word? Afraid.
right, right,
Raid.
right,
Afraid. 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 Oh,
afraid, afraid.
and make is just one syllable. So how will those words sound together?
So I'm afraid I can't make it. Make it.
Okay, but can you make these words, can you make frayed and make much bigger so that we know that those are the important sounds? I'm afraid I can't make it.
I'm afraid I can't make it.
Yeah, the things in the middle are very small, and the only big sounds that you hear are afraid and make. I'm afraid I can't make it.
I'm afraid I can't make it.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the.
I'm afraid I can make it.
Make it to the. Make it to the. Let's add to the.
Yeah. I'm afraid I can't make it there.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the.
I'm afraid I can't make it there.
Mohammed, can you try that? I'm afraid I can't make it to the.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the.
Try again.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the
And Mohammed, are the next two words, are those important words?
meeting. Meeting is important.
Just meeting?
Maybe it's both of them.
Hmm. Which one do you think? I mean, I think it could be either one. So you just make a decision. Which one do you think is better, both or only one?
I'll choose meeting.
Just meeting? Okay. And meeting has two syllables. Which syllable has all of the sound? Meeting,
First,
the first syllable. Okay. So if meeting is important, but the word tomorrow is not important, how does it sound?
meeting tomorrow.
Meeting tomorrow.
meeting tomorrow.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. So, but don't emphasize tomorrow. I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Pacho, can you try to say it like that? Meeting tomorrow.
Meeting tomorrow.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
Okay, let's add a little bit of music to our phrase. We'll just make these all high tones. We'll make all of our important sounds high tones, except for the last one. We'll make low because it's at the end of a phrase. So it was, if we add a little music, it would sound like this. I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
Meeting tomorrow. Let's go low on meeting. I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
Can you try that, Mohammed, with a little bit of music? I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
I'm afraid I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow.
Mohammed, can you make a why you can't make it to meeting tomorrow question?
Why you can't uh, why you can't make it to the meeting tomorrow?
Okay, but if you're making a question, you have to use the question form.
Why did you why um
How do you make a question with
why
you can't?
when won't you make
You
it
can't.
to the meeting tomorrow?
How do you make a question with you can't? You can't.
Why can't you
That's
make it to the meeting tomorrow?
again.
Why can't you make it to the meeting tomorrow?
Okay, and in that question, why can't you? What is the important word?
Why and meeting tomorrow?
Okay. So how would it sound if you say why plus can't plus you? How does that sound?
Why can't you?
Why can't you?
Why can't you?
Why can't you make it?
Why can't you make it?
Why can't you make it to the?
Why can't you make it to the?
Why can't you make it to the meeting tomorrow?
Why can't you make it to the meeting tomorrow?
Pachu, can you try that? Why can't you?
Why can't you?
Why can't you make it?
Why can't you make it?
Why can't you make it to the?
Why can't you make it to the?
Why can't you make it to the meeting tomorrow?
Why can't you make it to the meeting tomorrow?
Okay, and then let's say because I have a busy schedule.
I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow because of busy schedule.
Okay, because of a busy schedule. Okay. Try again. Say it one more time.
I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow because of busy schedule.
Okay, but if you say schedule, uh, that's a countable noun, so it has to have something more to it, like a or the or this or that. Or you could say my busy schedule. But
Okay.
you have to put something. If it's a countable noun, one, two, three, four, five schedules, then it cannot be alone. It has to be either plural or you have to put something in front of it.
Yes.
So you can't say because of busy schedule. It has to be a busy schedule, my busy schedule, this busy schedule, that busy schedule. It has to be something.
Okay, got it.
So what will you say?
My busy schedule.
Okay, so tell me the whole answer again.
I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow because of my busy schedule.
Okay. Mohammed, why can't you make it to the meeting tomorrow?
I can't make it to the meeting tomorrow because I have a busy schedule.
Okay. All right. That's another way you could just make a full sentence. I have a busy schedule, but you still have to say a. Okay. All right. Let's try the next one. Pachu, can you read number 2? What does it say?
Okay, so the friendly dog came along and started walking with us.
What does that phrasal verb come along mean?
Come along means come with.
Yeah, it means like join, go together, come
Join.
together, something like that. Uh-huh. And
Okay.
what are the first 5 words of that phrase? A friendly.
A friendly dog came along.
Now, is come along, is that a literal phrasal verb or does that seem like an abstract phrasal verb?
Is a literal
Okay, so which word would you emphasize?
along,
Okay, and along, which word, which syllable gets all of the sound in that word?
long,
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 came along, came along, came
came
along.
along, came
What
along.
what other words would you emphasize in that phrase? A friendly dog came along.
Is a friendly.
Okay. Friendly, that has 2 syllables. Which syllable has all of the sound? Friendly.
Is a fan.
Friend. Okay.
Like, yeah,
Say friend. Let's do friend. Okay.
a
Anything else
friend.
or just that?
Um, yes, this is only.
That's it? Okay. So how does that sound?
Yeah, the friendly dog came along.
The friendly dog came along.
A friendly dog came along.
Hmm. And dog is this is long because of the G. So that's still pretty long because of the G. A friendly dog came along.
Okay. Yeah, so a friendly dog came along.
Yeah, that's it's not long because it's emphasized, it's long because of the G sound.
Yes,
A friendly
yes.
dog came along.
A friendly dog came along.
Okay. Can you try that, Mohammed? A friendly dog came along.
Friendly dog came along.
Try again.
A friendly dog came along
Okay. And Mohammed, can you read the final part of the phrase? What does it say?
and started walking with us.
What are the important words in that phrase?
Started and walking
Okay,
and
started.
us.
Not usually pronouns are not emphasized. You can emphasize any word that you want, but if you emphasize a word that isn't normally something that you would emphasize, then it has a special meaning. And a pronoun like us is usually not emphasized in a neutral sentence. If you say with us, that means not them, not him, not her, but us. Because it's not normally a word that you would put a lot of strength on. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So, but I agree with started and walking. So, how would that sound if you emphasize start and walk?
Started walking.
Started walking with us.
Started walking with us.
With us, with us. It's like one little word, with us.
Started walking with us.
A friendly dog came along and started walking with us.
A friendly dog came along and started walking with us.
Okay, let's add a little music. So we'll make all of our important sounds and high tones, except when we get to the final part, we'll make it low because it's the end of a phrase. So we'll say it like this: a friendly dog came along and started walking with us.
Friendly dog came along and started walking with us.
Okay. Pachu, can you say started walking with us?
Started walking with us.
A friendly dog came along and started walking with us.
Friendly dog came along and started walking with us.
Okay. Pachu, can you make a why friendly dog start walking with us question?
Why did the why did a friendly dog come along
Mhm.
uh, and started walking with us?
Okay, because you're making a question, then all of your verbs can be in the simple form. Why did the friendly dog come along and start walking with us?
Yes, sorry. Uh, why did a friendly dog come along and start walking with us?
What is your most important word in that question?
So why?
Okay, how would you say why plus did plus the friendly dog?
Why did a friendly dog? Why did a
Why
friendly
did I?
dog?
Why did I? Why did I? Why did I?
Why did a
Why
why
did a
did a
friendly dog?
why did a friendly dog?
Why did a friendly dog come along?
Why did a friendly dog come along?
Why did a friendly dog come along and start walking with us?
Why did a friendly dog come along and start walking with us?
Can you try that, Mohammed? Why did I? Why did I? Why did I?
Why did a friendly dog came along and started walking with us?
Okay, but you've made a mistake. You've made two mistakes in your question. Would you like to try that again?
Okay, yes. Why did a friendly dog come along and start walking with us?
Why did a friendly dog come along and start walking with us?
Why did a friendly Why did a friendly dog came along and started
No.
come along and start walking with us?
Try again.
Why did a friendly dog come along and start walking with us?
Okay, and let's see, what is the answer? Because we had some chicken.
Because we have some chicken.
Had. Well, it's in the past. We're telling a story, and it's in the past.
Because we had some chicken.
So a friendly dog came along and started walking with us because we had some chicken.
Friendly dog came along and started walking with us because we had some chicken.
Mm-hmm. Pachi, why did a friendly dog come along and start walking with us?
A friendly dog came along and started walking with us because we had some chicken.
Okay. All right. Mohammed, what is number three?
The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
Okay, but now, Mohammed, it's really important that when you say the TH sound, that you stick your tongue out, you bite your tongue when you do that. Breath, breath. Can you do that? Uh oh. Wait a minute.
Can you hear me?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I was putting Pacho on mute because he was coughing, but I put you on mute instead. Okay, let's try that
Okay.
again. Breath. You've got to bite your tongue.
Breath, breath,
Breathtaking.
breathtaking.
Do you know another interesting thing that I was thinking about talking about? I guess we better talk about this. Is that do you know the word sticky?
Sticky,
Uh huh.
yes.
What does sticky mean?
It sticks and you
Uh-huh.
adhere to you.
Because the letter S is a sticky sound. Okay. What I mean by that is it will often attach to the sound in front of it that follows it. So if you're saying breasts, it will sound like bra staking. The s is sticky and it will attach to the staking part. Do you understand what I'm
Yes,
telling you?
yes,
So when you mispronounce the th, it sounds like bra staking, breathtaking, right? That's how you're saying it.
yes.
Okay, but the th is not sticky. So that means you have to stop and sort of separate the two words. Breathtaking.
Okay.
Do you understand? Do
Uh,
you understand what I mean? That might help if you think about it like that.
I understand. Yes.
Can you try to say that word again? Breathtaking.
Breath, breathtaking.
Breathtaking. Okay. And when you have two words together, you normally will emphasize the first word. Breathtaking.
Breathtaking.
Hmm. Right. So that helps. If you, in the case of the th, you have to stop for a moment, which you don't do with an s. Okay.
Okay.
Can you read the sentence again, please?
The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
Breathtaking. So, but emphasize breath, not taking, because you're saying breathtaking, but it's not. It's breathtaking.
Breathtaking.
Don't emphasize take. Just breathtaking.
Breathtaking.
Okay. What does that word utterly mean?
Very.
Yeah, extremely or 100% or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to Mr. Y. Mr. Y, can you
Yes,
hear me?
yes, sir.
Okay. Can you read that sentence number 3? What does it say?
The view from the mountain was really breathtaking,
Utterly breathtaking.
utterly breathtaking,
What does utterly mean?
completely.
Okay. Pachu, can you read the first one, two, three, four, 5 words up to mountain?
The view from the mountain,
What are the important words in that phrase?
it's a view and mountain.
Okay. And when you say mountain, that has 2 syllables. Which syllable gets all of the attention?
The mount, mount.
Mountain. Okay. Mountain. 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 So how will you say that?
Mountain.
If those are the important sounds in the sentence, how will you pronounce it?
So the view mountain,
The view from the mountain.
the view from the mountain,
The view from the mountain.
the view from the mountain,
Mohammed, can you say that? The view from the mountain.
The view from the
Uh,
mountain or mountain. Mountain. The view from the mountain.
mound, mound, mound.
The view from the mountain.
Oh, I see what you
Like
do. You
you.
say, do you pronounce the T? Mountain. I think I think it's bet. I think it's better if you don't pronounce. I think it's better if you do pronounce the T. It's true. It's true that I would say mountain. I don't pronounce it, but if you don't pronounce it, you have to give a little cough, which is pretty hard for people to do. Mountain, mountain, mountain. And if you do it the wrong way, it sounds kind of ugly. So I think it's just better to pronounce the T, mountain.
Mountain. Mountain.
Yeah, but you know the way that that sounds a little bit. There are people who talk like that in English, but it doesn't sound very attractive, in my opinion. Maybe some people would disagree, but
Okay.
it's too exaggerated. I think it's better if you say the T, mountain.
The view from the mountain
Hmm.
was
Go ahead.
The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
Okay. So should we also emphasize the word utterly? Utterly.
Yes,
Okay.
utterly,
That
yes.
has three syllables. Which syllable should we focus on? Utterly.
First,
First one.
first.
Okay. All right. So let's try the whole rhythm here. The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
Okay. Pachu, can you try that? The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
But utterly is an important word, so you have to say utterly. It has to be big.
Utterly,
The view from the
utterly.
mountain was utterly breathtaking.
The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
Okay. Utterly breathtaking. All right.
Utterly breathtaking.
Now let's add a little bit of music. Okay, so we'll make all of these high tones until we get to the final part, which will make a low tone. And then we'll have a little music to our sentence. The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking. Can you try that, Pachu?
The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
Mohammed, can you try that with a little
The
music?
view from
Sorry.
the view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
Okay, now we're almost done with our vocabulary practice, and then we're going to write a little story for about an hour. So, uh, if I don't get two more volunteers, then we're going to keep Pachu and Mohammed if they want to stay, if they choose to stay. So, if you want to volunteer, go. You have to go into the Discord group and say, "Pick me," and if you don't, then tough luck. Okay. Mohammed, can you make a how view from mountain question?
How was the view from the mountain?
Do that again.
How was the view from the mountain?
And what is your most important word in the question?
How and view and mountain.
Okay. So, how would you say how plus was plus the?
How was the
How was the? How was the?
how was the
Remember that the S is sticky, so it's zda. Zda.
was the
Zda. Can you say, pretend it's like a
was the
zda. Say da. Da. Use a D. Da.
was the
Just do da.
was the
Say da. Can you say da?
the
Da. Now put a Z in front of it. Zda.
the
Zda. Zda.
is the
How was da?
how was the
Zda. Not yeah, you're missing a sound. And it's the Z. Zda.
how was the
Zda. Say zda.
how was the
How was the view from the mountain?
how was the view? How was the view from the mountain?
And what is the answer?
The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Y, how was the view from the mountain?
The view from the mountain was utterly breathtaking.
All right. Okay. So now we're finished with our comic book parts. And now we're going to do a little bit of creative writing. We're going to make a story. And I haven't gotten any volunteers. So, Mohammed and Pachu, would you like to continue
Yes,
Okay,
into
no problem.
story time? Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask ChatGPT to make a picture. Let's see, make a picture that can be inspiration for a story.